Hey, happy Wednesday. Thanks for joining us on this Wednesday afternoon for our lunchtime forecast. We appreciate you popping on here today. Now, we do have several things to talk about this afternoon. Denver in the path of hail. We also could see high wind on the East Coast once again, very similar to what we saw yesterday. But here's the good news. We do have a cool down on the way. Some of us already feeling that cool down. Others are just ahead of that cool down, just waiting for it to arrive. So we'll talk about that in just a few minutes. But I do want to mention one thing first. This is a very exciting event that we love to invite you to. So this is a VIP private movie screening of Twisters, which just premiered, I think, last night. But this screening of this will be for July 23rd. It's at the Winchester Drive-In. So I'm going to step out of the way here. Go ahead and grab your phone, scan that QR code, and it will take you to an area to buy tickets. However, it is free for HailTrace clients. You can use the code Twisters VIP, capital T, capital VIP. Again, that is next Tuesday at 7:30. We're going to have a lot of fun things there, including face painting and popcorn. Of course, everything that you could want at a drive-in movie. And what better movie to watch than that new movie, Twisters. All right, now let's get back to the weather here. Let's talk about yesterday's storm reports. Obviously, as you can see, it was a big wind day once again. We had wind anywhere from Nebraska all the way down to Oklahoma, and then all the way up the southeast and the east coast. One of the most notable that I saw here was out of New York, where we did see some very, very strong winds in Rome, New York, knocked over a ton of things, even a possible tornado in that area. We also had a reported tornado just outside of St. Louis right around lunchtime yesterday, and there's New York. As that storm came through, it was tornado warned, and there's a ton of damage that we've been seeing in this area. It feels like this area of New York has gotten hit over and over and over again over the last week, and obviously a ton of wind reports there or damage reports in this area. Several wind reports as we head farther down to the south and east for yesterday. The hail reports were really isolated farther up into the plains. We also had one tornado that you can see coming out of Nebraska, heading down to the south, even into northern Kansas there, and you can see all of those severe warned storms across the central and southern plains there. All right, moving on to what we saw yesterday. Ooh, even some showers into Oklahoma City. Actually, we've been listening to that all morning long. We can hear the rain here in the studio, and we've been listening to that all morning long. Your rainfall total is not terribly impressive out in Oklahoma. However, much more impressive in areas that did have some flood issues this morning. Some really, really intense flood issues out of Arkansas this morning that were preventing people's morning commutes. I know they were doing rescues in this area as well, so we're thinking about them as they still may be getting a little bit more rain as we speak. Now, right now, your current conditions, as I mentioned, we are getting rain here in Oklahoma City. We were also getting rain in Arkansas. Now that's moving into Memphis. I don't see anything at the moment that is severe warned. However, I do see a watch in place once again on the East Coast from New York all the way up to the north and east there. Taking you farther back to Oklahoma City now, we are expecting some rain, some showers and storms in here for the next hour or two at least. You can see there's lots of showers and storms down on the Gulf Coast as well. Much drier farther out to the west, which is what we've been seeing over the last few days, and it looks like that's going to be the trend for quite some time. The West Coast is really struggling to get that rain. Hey, here's the good news. We did get a cool down. If you walk outside right now, anywhere from the central to southern plains, it's not too bad. It's not just like miserable once you walk outside. Temperatures are in the 70s. 72 here in Oklahoma City. Hey, we'll take it. It's a little cloudy out there. We'll definitely take it. 81 in Kansas City. We are enjoying that cool down. Arkansas, portions of Tennessee also have a cool down. Still a little toasty in Dallas right now. DFW is dealing with still some of those toasty temperatures. Let's take a look at what we see across Oklahoma City. 72 in Oklahoma City, 73 in Chandler. We've got some warmer temperatures farther out near Tulsa. DFW looking at 90 degrees in Dallas, 86 in Fort Worth right now. So some people, especially if you've got rain in your area, are getting some cooler temperatures. All right, let's move on. I know it's warm down to the Gulf Coast. Hopefully you get that cool down in the next few days. Let's move on here to what we can expect later on today. So the instability looks like it'll be in areas that do have warmer temperatures out ahead of that front that's moving through. However, behind this front, we could still see some of those stronger storms on the eastern side of Colorado and the western side of Kansas and Nebraska today, and we'll talk about that in just a few minutes. I want to show you the area for best chances for significant hail. We could see some hail down in southern Oklahoma. It's looking quite unlikely. I didn't even put an area for the hail risk map today. We could see some hail further up to the northeast. Once again, very, very unlikely here. I think the better chances to see that hail risk is what everyone tuned on here for today, is out near Denver. So we're talking about Denver, and just to the east here, it does look like we could see some isolated hail from storms that'll pop up later on this afternoon and into the late night hours. So here's a look at your significant hail risk for today. This area highlighted in orange could see anywhere from 1.25 inches to 1.75 inches sized hail. On the outskirts of this here, as you get farther into Kansas and Nebraska, those hail sizes are likely to go down. As I mentioned, farther out to the north and east, very, very small hail, if anything at all. I'm keeping this risk very low because I'm not expecting anything significant from these storms in the northeast. Could they produce some very, very small hail? It's possible. It's looking rather unlikely. The better chances for significant hail will be in places like Denver, Cheyenne, and even portions of eastern Colorado, even down to the southeast, maybe Pueblo getting in there as well. Okay, let's take a look at some of the most significant hail sizes that we could see today. It'll be very isolated, but you could get up to golf ball sized hail this evening. Let's take a look at the timing for this. You know, we've been talking about those showers and storms in New York that seems like it's gotten hit over and over and over. This will mainly be a wind event farther up to the north and east. We're going to see a few showers and storms, most likely non-severe, anywhere from Houston to San Antonio, back along the Gulf into the Florida Panhandle. And if you look farther out near Denver, these storms will start off pretty isolated but balloon and become a little bit more scattered as we head into the evening hours. What we're watching for here is late afternoon into early evening. By the time we get to dinner time, you should have something on the radar around you. Now, this will continue to track off to the east, most likely out of the way of Denver by the time the sun sets, continuing into eastern Colorado through the late night hours and maybe even portions of Kansas and Oklahoma as we get into the overnight hours tonight and into tomorrow morning. The later on these storms go, the less likely they are to produce hail. I think those hail storms will be at the very, very beginning of the storm initiation, right around dinner time. All right, taking a look at tomorrow's forecast. Your hail forecast for tomorrow is favoring this same area of the country. So we're talking about eastern Colorado all the way into western Kansas, the panhandle of Oklahoma, and the panhandle of Nebraska. It's a lower chance for tomorrow, but I did go ahead and put Denver in that moderate risk level to get some of those showers and storms that could be producing hails, because once these storms come off the mountains, they tend to surprise us in this area. So I don't want you to be surprised there. Once again, we could see up to a golf ball sized hail for tomorrow once again. So 2 days in a row to see hail on this side of the country. We're talking southern plains into the central plains. Taking a look at your future radar for tomorrow, we're looking down into Houston, Dallas, maybe getting some of those showers and storms. These storms go all the way up the east coast as this front continues to push off down to the south and east. If we look farther back to the west, you can see those storms firing off in a very similar timeline as they did today into the afternoon, late afternoon hours, ballooning as we get into the evening hours, and then continuing through the overnight and early morning hours into Friday morning. You can see those storms look like they're going to produce some heavy rain at some point as well out in Nebraska and Kansas, but again, right in the exact same spot today as we're looking for tomorrow as well. Your maximum hail forecast, hail size for tomorrow, I think that we could go right along ping pong ball to golf ball sized hail, most likely right in between that 1.5 to 1.75 inches hail. All right, so we've got several rounds of hail in the forecast, not only today, but also for tomorrow. But the good news here for those that are not getting storms or maybe even just a few light showers, hey, it's cooling down for us. So while you're outside over the next few days, it's going to feel a lot more comfortable not only for this week, but it also looks like next week. We have a high likelihood of below average temperatures as we get into the end of July. So this goes through July 23rd, next Tuesday, all the way through one of the last days of this month. We also are looking forward to a good amount of rain over the next few days. Our 5-day outlook brings some showers and storms off to the west, but better chances farther down to the south and east on some of those states that parallel or touch the Gulf Coast. That looks like it's going to stay a very, very common trend, not only the next 5 days, but also into the last week of July as well. All right, thanks for joining us on this forecast for today. We brought you those big headlines of several rounds of hail. We also have cooler temperatures in the forecast. And don't forget to sign up for tickets for that Twisters watch party. We would love for you to join us if you're a Hail Trace client. Now also follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. You can also give us a call at 855-334-4245 if you're interested in a plan. Email us at info@hailtrace.com or head over to hailtrace.com. It looks like today and tomorrow we're going to get out a blog about that derecho event that we saw on Monday. So if you're interested in any extra weather knowledge, if you're a weather enthusiast like we are here at Hail Trace, you're going to love that website. Look for the word blog at hailtrace.com. Okay, thanks for joining us on this Wednesday. We'll see you back here, same time, same place tomorrow.